Good afternoon, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Sportsmemo's Pro Football Forecast. Guys, we come to you every Friday during the NFL campaign, bringing you tons of free winners, amazing betting insights, and a few laughs to boot from some of Sportsmemo's documented leaderboard fixtures. So grab that helmet, lace up those cleats, get ready to make money in pro football this weekend, because today we have an amazing Friday show. What a great panel. Let's bring them on, guys. Let's say hello to this bunch. We got Jesse Schule, Rocky Atkinson, and Dan Kaiser. Let me do some individual hellos. Jesse, how are you today, sir?
Hey, Joe.
A man of few words. I love that. Rocky Atkinson, how you doing today, buddy?
Hey, doing great, Joe. Glad to be back with you and Jesse and Dan here on the show.
Always a pleasure to have my buddy Rocky in. My good buddy Dan Kaiser. He and I are doing a lot of sports memo content. Dan, how are you this afternoon?
It's going good. Waiting for tonight's Michigan State Gonzaga basketball game.
Nice stuff. Please don't run across the court at halftime again like last time. Can't bail you out this time. I love you, buddy.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good game, though. My numbers tell me take the dog. However, let me get into a couple of announcements before we get into today's roundtable games and best bet segment. First of all, guys, today's Veterans Day. And to all those who unselfishly and courageously serve this country so the rest of us can walk and speak freely, we owe you a debt we can never repay. Thank you. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you. Having said that, let's get into the show, guys. Make sure to hit the subscribe button because we don't want you to miss any of our sports betting content here at Sports Memo TV. We are revolutionizing the sports betting industry. So hit that subscribe button. Get a reminder every time we've got a show popping up. Also, guys, you know how I start every week, every show. The customer appreciation at Sports Memo is unrivaled. We know that saving you money just as good as making you money. We have a couple of things I'd like to bring up. First of all, our $2 Tuesday feature cappers are still available. Ross Benjamin, Tim Michael, they got 5%. $2 Tuesday plays after the show. Sports Memo. Go follow Ross and Tim. I got to tell you, two of the best in the business for $2 a piece. You can't beat that with a bat. Then we have a wonderful 30-day NFL or college football package, just $99. Upon checkout, use code FBALL99. It's basketball, guys. This is amazing. A 7-day college basketball program, just $49. No code necessary. And then the great people in our Detroit office, and we have the best staff on the planet, let alone the business, was nice enough to give Joe D something. Since the opening day of the NBA campaign, I've been either number one or number two in every category. I want you to know you get 7 days of Joe D NBA, $49. Use code COURT7 upon checkout. Guys, no matter who the handicapper, no matter the day of the week, go over to sportsmemo.com. Take advantage of those amazing discounts we currently have offered. Plus, be sure to check out that deals page. It's amazing. Sometimes us cappers don't even know we have a deal going up there. Now, two things I want to tell you about the Gold Sheet. First of all, every successful sports bettor and sports handicapper I know use the Gold Sheet, the oldest, the most respected of all betting publications. Guys, so after the show, www.goldsheet.com. Use what the pros use. Second thing about the Gold Sheet, you're going to see stats and graphics during the show. They're courtesy of our good friends at the Gold Sheet. Now, one more item before we get into our first of 3 roundtable games. You know how we do's it. That's what the kids say. Guys, here are some pro football line moves this week from my good friends over at my favorite sports book on the planet, the Superbook at the Westgate. I do make a pre-up the strike each time I read these out, each show. Each week, the lines move due to the general public, injuries, weather conditions, among other things. These 2 line movements this Sunday in the NFL are specifically from the wise guys here in Southern Nevada. We want to make you aware of them. The Texans went from +7, they opened up, all the way down to 4.5. Wise guys all over. Houston, as we say in New York. The Cardinals from 3.5 down to 1.5. The smart money is on the Zona this week. So once again, Houston and Arizona, 2 smart money wise guy moves here in Southern Nevada. Without any further ado, we got our first roundtable game, guys. And there are 3 today. Then our best bet segment. Our first roundtable game, a very exciting matchup. 2 AFC teams both need wins right now, but for different reasons. The 3-5 Browns, they got to make a move now, or their season is going to be in real trouble. The 6-3 Dolphins are tied with the Jets for second in the AFC East. 2 top 10 offenses, 2 bottom barrel defenses. Something got to give you guys. Miami 7-3 ATS, the last 10 at home, but just 1-5 ATS, the last 6 overall. Cleveland Browns, Miami Dolphins, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Miami is currently 3.5 total, 49. Let's go to the Southern Assassin, Rocky Atkinson. Rocky, take it away.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, Cleveland comes in off a 32-13 win over Cincinnati in their last game. which was way back on October 31st. They sort of had a little extra time here to prepare, while Miami's off a 35-32 win over Chicago this past week. Both of these teams have very good offenses. Cleveland's ranked number 4 overall. Miami's ranked number 5 overall in the league. Cleveland's strength is their rushing attack, which is number 3 in the NFL. It's led by Nick Chubb, while Miami's strength is their passing attack, which is the league. It's led by Tua at quarterback and Tyreek Hill at wide receiver. The main key to winning this game for Miami is going to be stopping Chubb in that rushing attack. Last week, Miami allowed 252 yards on the ground to Chicago, but I think they step it up here and slow it down a little bit. I think Tua is going to have a big game here. I believe he's the real deal. He has Tyreek Hill, like I said, who leads the league in receiving yards with 1,104 on the season. This Miami offense is scoring 27.3 points per game their past 3 games overall, where they're 3-0 straight up. A few trends to consider for this game. Miami's 12-3 against the spread last 15 games after allowing 30 points or more in their previous game. Miami is 6-1 against the spread last 7 games after scoring 30 points or more in their previous game. Cleveland 11-23 against the spread last 34 games against AFC opponents. And Cleveland is 1-9 against the spread the last 10 games after a straight up win of 14 or more points. I'm going to go with a small play on Miami minus the points on Sunday.
Rocky Atkinson, guys, says Miami minus the points, small play. Guys, 3 things in life you can rely on: death, taxes, and Rocky Atkinson bringing a great analysis. I love him. You love him. Let's go into our second panelist on the first roundtable game. Jesse the Body Schule, Browns, Dolphins, Sunday, 1 p.m. Miami, 3.549. Jesse, the floor is yours.
Well, that was a great breakdown by Rocky. I'm looking at my notes here, and most of the points that Rocky made are the exact same points I have written down. However, I've come to a different conclusion than my man Rocky Atkinson. Of course, the Browns coming off that 32-13 win over Cincinnati. That snapped a 4-game losing streak. They caught the Bengals without Jamar Chase. They will not be so lucky this week catching the Dolphins with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. As Rocky said, Dolphins offense is firing on all cylinders. In fact, both these teams rank in the top 10 in scoring in the NFL, and both rank in the bottom 10 defensively. Rocky did mention that Cleveland's had success running the ball. He also mentioned that the Dolphins have had a bit of a lack of success defending the run recently. And I have my eyes on the total. I look at the last 2 times these teams met. Cleveland won 41-24 at home a couple years back in 2019. And then the last time that Cleveland played at Miami, the Dolphins won 30-24 back in 2016. Like I said, both these teams are scoring. Neither of these teams are really that frightening defensively. It's a pretty big number, but I'm going to lean on the over 49 points here.
Jesse, the Body Schule says over. He's got to lean on the over. Browns, Dolphins, guys. Jesse Schule, always as entertaining as he's informative. Guys, don't go anywhere. One round table game down, 2 more to go. And just always, if you just tuned in, have no fear. I'm always going to run down all the round table games at the end of the 3rd round table game. Let's go to our 2nd round table games, my friend. This is another interesting matchup, I tell you. One of the best on the board. 2 division leaders between them, 13-3 straight up. The Vikings are 8-1-1 ATS. The last 10 on turf. The Bills 5-1-1 ATS. The last 7 at home. Something's got to give here, guys. 2 division leaders. Big matchup. Vikings at Bills, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Buffalo, -3.5, total 43. Let's go to my good buddy, Dan the Man Kaiser.
Yeah, thanks. So, yeah, there's a lot of interesting things about this game. You know, it's what will Josh Allen play? Won't he play? You know, everything just seems to be up in the air. I think McDermott's just going to keep it until Sunday, until we find out if he's playing. Obviously, the line went from 9.5 to 3.5. So there's a lot of thinking that he's not going to play. You know, this Vikings team, you know, the record's really good, but are they that good? Are they that good a team? I mean, they needed 4 come behind 4 come from behind fourth quarter drives against below teams or teams below 500. And, last week they needed to come back against the Washington team with a backup quarterback. Their defense is ranked at the bottom of the league. They give up a lot of points, but they have a good offense. The one thing that at least the Vikings can say they got going for them is they got a very dynamic offense, and it's not prime time. So they don't have to worry about Kirk Cousins or primetime Kirk Cousins showing up in this one. So they got a chance that way. This Buffalo team, good offense. I think the Case Keenum's a decent backup. He could give them, he'll be a reliable backup. He's not going to, obviously, he's not Josh Allen. And the only thing that, I'm not a doctor. I wish Dr. Chuck was on here, but I'm not a doctor. And, I did sleep at a Holiday Inn Express last night. But, every time you hear UCL injuries when it comes to pitchers, it's always, Tommy John surgery following it. So I don't know what the deal here is with if quarterback throwing the ball is different, it might be, but that's something to think about maybe in the future. I've got a side in mind on this one that I'm thinking about making a premium play, so I don't want to give that out right now, but I'm leaning on this one. I'm leaning on the under in this one. I know Buffalo's got one of the best offenses in the league, and they'll it won't be as good if Allen doesn't play. But even if Allen does play, McDermott's still a defensive coach. I think he likes to run the ball, especially with Buffalo's gets the lead. I think they can get the lead early on this Minnesota defense. And prime time or not, it is a big game. I don't know if I can trust Kirk Cousins in this game, so I'm gonna lean towards the under in this one.
My good buddy Dan Kaiser, guys, one of the sharpest minds in sports betting today, says he has a lean on the under. Vikings, Bills under that 43. Great stuff as usual, Dan. Thank you, my friends. Let's go to the Southern Assassin, Rocky Atkinson, wanted down south for killing bookmakers. Rocky, Vikings, Bills, 3.5, 43. Take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Buffalo was my pick to win the Super Bowl this year. They lost last week to the Jets, 20-17. Minnesota won 20 to Washington. The big question right now in this game, just as Dan spoke about, is whether or not Bills quarterback Josh Allen will play in this one. Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion. One of the main reasons I picked this team to win it all this year. However, a lot more goes into the game of football, and overall, this Bills team is very good. Their backup quarterback's Case Keenum, who has been around for a while. Of course, if I'm on Buffalo, I would like to have Josh Allen in the lineup, but I'm also fading this Vikings team, who currently sits at 7-1 on the season, which is a little misleading because they really haven't played anyone, as only one of those 7 wins have been against a team with a winning record this year, with that being the Dolphins. I think another key ingredient here is going to be this Buffalo defense. They're holding opponents to only 14.8 points per game overall this year and 9 points per game at home this season. I like what Dan said with the under there, because I think this Buffalo team's going to shut Minnesota down. I think going to score just enough to be able to win and cover this game. So I'm going to recommend the better team here. I'm going to play Buffalo minus the points on Sunday.
There you go. The Southern Assassin, Rocky Atkinson, says Buffalo minus the points. Guys, great stuff. Rocky always brings it as well. One of my favorite captains, one of my favorite people on the planet. How about those great graphics and stats that you're seeing on each of these roundtable games, courtesy of our good friends over at the best and most respected betting publication on the planet, The Gold Sheet, www.goldsheet.com. Use what the pros use. 2 roundtable games down, 1 to go. Then our best bet segment. Don't go anywhere. This show's going to only heat up. I promise you that. Our third roundtable game, very exciting matchup. LA, 4-1 the last 5 straight up. And many people feel out there, because I read a lot of different stuff. Many people feel one of the luckiest teams in the NFL. San Fran got off a 2-game slide last week. Chargers covered 4 straight as a visitor, 49-6-1 ATS the last 7. Where? At Levi's Stadium. We're talking Chargers 49ers Sunday, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. San Fran -7, total 45.5. Let's go to the Iceman, Jesse Schule.
Well, Joe, the 49ers certainly have a lot of hype after picking up Christian McCaffrey. It does seem a little strange to see San Francisco with a 4-4 record as a 7-point favorite over a Chargers team with a 5-3 record. But McCaffrey has made a big impact on that offense. His first full game for San Francisco, 94 rushing yards, 55 receiving yards, and a 34-yard touchdown pass. That's pretty insane. That being said, he's only played 18 games since 2019. He does have a history of getting injured. How long is he going to last in this offense, especially if they use him in all facets of the game like that, is a question that I can't really answer. But I suspect that it's going to take a miracle to keep him healthy for the rest of the year. This Chargers team got tons of injury concerns. I'm not sure if Keenan Allen's ever going to play again. It seems like he's perpetually listed as questionable. Apparently still hasn't returned to practice. As much as I think this line is a little high for San Francisco, there's just too many injuries for the Chargers with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Joey Bosa, a ton of defensive starters out of this game. I'm going to have to say that even with the -7, I'd have to lean towards San Francisco here.
Jesse Schule, one of the hottest cappers on the planet since August, guys, says he's got a lean on the 49ers -7. By the way, guys, Jesse saying something is a bit insane. It's like me saying the volume's a little loud. I got to tell you that. I love Jesse Schule. You love him too, as entertaining as he's informative. Guys, we're going to go to Dan's man, Kaiser. Dan, Chargers-Niners, Sunday night. San Fran, 7:45.5. Do you agree or disagree with Jesse?
Yeah, I have to agree with Jesse there. I know the lines at 7, makes you think a little bit about it. But, the Chargers are 5-3. And I was surprised Chargers not one of the teams I follow a lot this year. So when I looked at it and saw 5-3, I just figured they got to be the most unimpressive 5-3 football team in the NFL right now. I mean, they won last week 20-17 over Atlanta. I think I was on the Chargers last week. It's just that I don't know. There's something about that. I know they were the darling coming into the season. I really thought it was going to be the Chargers. But as Jesse said, a ton of injuries, especially to the wide receivers. So their offense hasn't looked great. Their defense is allowing the third most points per game. They're league worst 6 runs of 40-plus yards. And they're facing this 49ers team that, as Jesse was saying, they've got McCaffrey back or on the team now. He could bust a 40-yarder any given time. Deebo Samuel will be back in this game for the 49ers. You've seen what he can do with the ball in his hand. And I don't know, for a minute there almost sounds like Jesse's making a prediction on a McCaffrey injury. Hopefully, if it does happen, it'd be next week and not this week. But I just think, and the San Francisco defense, they're playing really well, and there's this the Chargers offense just doesn't have a lot of weapons that you can count on. So, yeah, it's 7 points, but I think it's 7 points that the 49ers can easily cover. So I'm with Jesse on this one, and I'm taking the 49ers.
Dan Kaiser, red hot, one of the hottest guys in the NFL over at Sportsmemo, or on the planet for that matter, says the 49ers. Now, guys, I'm going to run down all 3 roundtable games and our panelists' predictions. On our first roundtable game, Browns at Dolphins. Rocky says Miami, small play. Jesse says the total over. Second roundtable games, Vikings at Bills. Dan the man Kaiser said a lean on the under. Rocky Atkinson says Buffalo. Third roundtable game, Chargers at 49ers. Jesse the body says a lean on the Niners. Dan says he agrees with Jesse, but a little more than a lean, a play on the Niners. Guys, I do want you to know, first of all, don't go anywhere. We have our best bet segment. And obviously, we're going to run down all those discounts for you that we feature, at least for today, over at Sportsmemo, because they just get better and better every day. But I want you to know, 3 roundtable games, 3 documented winning cappers, different ways to look at games. But that's why I love Sportsmemo. We have the best collection of cappers anywhere on the planet, and you're not going to get the same BS that one capper says, the next capper says, the next capper says. They're all individual. And I got to tell you, go over to Sportsmemo. If it's not Jesse or Rocky or Dan or even myself, you're going to find somebody tailor-made just for you, because we do have the best collection of cappers on the planet, and they were handpicked. Trust me, there is a line around the corner, down the block, and down the friggin' other block for cappers that want to join Sports Memo and Wager Talk. But they handpick the bunch that we've got. And I'll tell you what, it's the best on the planet, unrivaled. Having said that, we're going to go into our best bet segment, guys. Our first best bet is going to come from the Southern Assassin, Rocky Atkinson. Now, I've got to tell you, we have a lot of fun with Rocky because I have that strong New York. He has that strong Southern accent. And I would say he's wanted down south for killing bookmakers. Guys, I'm not lying. He's basically wanted for killing bookmakers. I'll tell you that. He's one of the best cappers in the history of this business. Last year, you guys know, NFL 70%. That's not the first time he did it. But guess what? This season, my good buddy Rocky 82% NFL regular season. Crazy numbers, and numbers don't lie. And I'm going to tell you what else. I'm going to tell you before he tells you. He might have some more games loaded a little bit later, but I went to Sportsmemo when I checked it out. He's already got his NFL shocker loaded. It's locked and loaded, ready to go for him. After the show, you've got to take advantage of him. He's a winner, and you'll be one too if you follow him. Let's go to Rocky Atkinson. He's going to give you his best bet. He's going to tell you what he's been doing, what he's going to be doing. Rocky, take it away.
Thank you, Joe. 82% this year. I'm actually off a loss last night. I was 90%. I had Atlanta Falcons last night as a top play, my first top play loser in the NFL this year. So dropped me to 82% in the regular season this year. Like you said, I do have my NFL shocker loaded now for Sunday. It'll be my only play in the NFL this weekend. Started college basketball off 5-0 this season, 92-59, my last 151 NBA plays. I'm up in college football this year. I've got a couple plays loaded for Saturday there. So, hit me up on sportsmemo.com. Come join us. One of us, or like Joe said, there's a lot of solid experts at Sports. Be sure to check us out. As far as the best bet for the show here, I'm going with the under in the early game Sunday in Tampa Bay, Seattle. They're playing early Sunday morning from Munich, Germany. Seattle's in 6-3 on the 4-5 record this season. Seattle beat Arizona last week 31-21, while Tampa Bay beat the Rams in the final seconds 16-13. This Tampa Bay offense has not produced this year. They're dead last in rushing. They're 25th overall in scoring, but their defense has been solid, number 9 overall in the league, number 5 in scoring defense. They're allowing only 13.5 points per game on the road this year. They're scoring only 15 points per game on the road this season, 13.7 points per game their past 3 games overall. Seattle has allowed only 19 points per game their last 3 games overall. The under is 6-0 for Tampa Bay against conference opponents this year. And going back a little further, 14-3 their last 17 against NFC opponents. The under's cashed 7 of their 9 games overall this year. And the under is 7-2 the last 9 games for Seattle after they score more than 30 points in their previous game. So I'm going to play the under in Tampa Bay, Seattle as my best bet for the show this week.
Perennial leaderboard fixture, Rocky Atkinson says under. Seattle, Tampa Bay, 44.5. It's the winner. Rocky's a winner, and you will be too if you follow him over at Sportsmemo. Guys, Rocky's the perfect handicapper to follow, taking advantage of that 30-day NFL program for just $99. I'm going to tell you why. Last year, 70% documented for the whole season. That's not the first time he's done that. He's done it a few times. This year, already 82%. After this show, I'm going to tell you, whether you bet $20 parlays or $20,000 a game, invest a small investment, $99. You'll get an immediate, an intermediate, and a long-term return from Rocky Atkinson. $99, that pays for itself in day one. He's a winner. You will be too if you follow him. My friend, our next best bet is going to come from the Iceman himself. Now, guys, I know Jesse a long time. I know him for decades. He may look young, but he's been around a while, I'll tell you that. He is one of the best in the history of this business. And I got to tell you, since August, one of the hottest and winningest, I know winningest anywhere, but winningest cappers on the planet. I just want you to know he is a crazy winner. And it doesn't matter if it's on the gridiron, if it's on the hardwood, if it's on the ice. Guys, it doesn't matter if it's in the U.S., if it's in Canada. It doesn't matter where it's played. Jesse is a winner. So Jesse's going to tell you what he's been doing, what he's going to be doing, and he's going to give you another free best bet. Jesse, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Joe. Yeah, I did get off to quite a hot start to the football season this year. It's been a rough week for me, but I've got my wife ironing my yellow jumpsuit, and I got my wig all fluffed up, and I'm ready to put on the Mr. Perfect outfit on Monday morning because I'm planning on sweeping the board this weekend with college and pro football, as well as CFL football we got going on this weekend as well. But back to that Minnesota Buffalo game for my best bet. I've got a bit of a contrarian angle on it, looking at it a little differently than Rocky and Dan. I'm looking at the total. It opened at 49.5. It's been bet all the way down to 43 with the news that Josh Allen is dealing with an injury. Now, nobody knows for sure who's going to start at quarterback for the Bills, but Stephon Diggs might have given us a hint on Twitter. He just tweeted, rejoice. Nothing else, just one word, rejoice. I can't speculate as to what that actually means. He doesn't tweet very often, and perhaps that's got something to do with Josh Allen, perhaps not. If Case Keenum gets the start, surprised none of you guys mentioned this. It's not like you're not old enough to remember. Case Keenum, former Viking in 2017, threw for 3,547 yards, 22 touchdowns, 7 interceptions for the then 13-3 Vikings. He had himself a hell of a year. The Vikings were a great team. And what did they do? They let him go and sign Kirk Cousins. So it's a bit of a revenge angle for perhaps the best backup quarterback in football. He started 2 games for the Browns last year. They won both of those games. The Vikings, 3-headed monster, Cousins, Jefferson, Cook, they can score points. With all that movement on the total down to 43, I think both these teams score 20. I think you got to score 24 to win this. I like over 43 here.
Jesse Schule, the Iceman himself, says over 43 Vikings, Bills. Guys, I want to tell you, he said he's going to be breaking out that Mr. Perfect outfit for Monday, and I believe him. Jesse himself, I know this is a pro football show, but I want to tell you, and we tape on Fridays. It airs through the whole week. You have access to a week, I should say. Tonight alone and Friday night, Jesse has an NHL play, a college basketball play, an NBA play, and a Canadian football play. So Jesse's the perfect capper to follow one of those 3, 7, or 30-day all-access packages because he does sports I never even heard of, and he's a winner. Like I said, doesn't matter. Gridiron, turf, hardwood, doesn't matter ice. He's a winner after the show. Sportsmemo.com, Jesse Schule for one of those all-inclusive packages, and you will have one of the best months you've ever had. My friends, Dan the Man Kaiser hit the ground running when he came over to Sports Memo 3 or 4 months ago. And I got to tell you, although sports betting because of social media, it's a worldwide thing now. We get that. But it's really a small community. And when you are one of the best, everybody in the community knows about it. And I knew about Dan Kaiser way before he came to Sports Memo. I knew him as one of the sharpest minds in sports betting. He's one of the winningest cappers in sports betting, one of the best at breaking down games. He's got a real streetwise angle. I'm going to tell you right now, the last 30 days NFL, he is 72.7%. $100 bettors are up. Guess what? $2,315. You got to follow him with an NFL package as well. He's going to tell you what he's been doing, what he's going to be doing, and he's another free best bet for you. Dan Kaiser, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, NFL has been amazing this year for me. I've got my NFL card will be up later tonight for Sunday. I've got 2 plays up right now in college basketball. I hit my first play of the year in college basketball. These are the next 2 plays I have. One's on the Armed Forces Classic between Gonzaga and a team I know well, the Michigan State Spartans. And the other one is on one of the Big 5 battles for Philly between Villanova and Temple. So check those out. I got 2 plays up for college football for tomorrow, and there'll be more coming. Just finalizing the final numbers on those. For my best bet for today's show, it's I'm looking at the Cardinals-Rams game. I mean, the Rams team, everybody talks about the Super Bowl hangover. To be honest, I think somebody put a roofie in their champagne after that Super Bowl because they still haven't woken up from that game. The team has just been awful on both sides of the ball. I mean, Stafford's been terrible. He's been dealing with an elbow problem since the start of the season. Today I heard McVay say he's improving or getting better. I mean, yeah, but the elbow maybe maybe getting better, but with Stafford getting better because he's not been playing well this whole season. And this Rams defense is a defense that you've always been able to rely on to come through when needed, and they haven't made a real stop in a couple of games. I mean, they let an aging Tom Brady, who did nothing for 3.5 quarters, drive down the field at the end of the game. So I don't have any faith in this Rams team. This Cardinals team, I mean, they've been a big disappointment this season. I think Kyler Murray's been a big disappointment. He really struggled at the beginning of the season. He's battling a hamstring at this point in time. They say he's questionable, but the way the line's been moving, you got to in their favor. You got to expect he's playing. Since they've gotten Hopkins back, the passing game's been a little bit better, but again, he's throwing mostly to Hopkins. But I just don't have any faith in this Rams defense to do much to stop him. I think Murray's going to get the job done, and Stafford, I can't trust him in this spot. So I'm gonna take the 1.5 and take the Cardinals, and I'd probably take that. To be honest, I'd probably just take them on the money line because I think the Cardinals will win this game outright.
Dan Kaiser says take the Cardinals, guys. I got to tell you, if he says they're going to win outright, they're going to win outright. But he says take the points. Anyway, guys, I got to tell you, I dabble a little bit in real estate investing, stock investing, and I can't tell you that there's a single investment on the planet that could bring me a return in 30 days like Dan is doing. $100 bettors up, NFL, 30 days, $2,315. There's no return that you can make on an investment. There's nothing like that. Dan's a winner. Go over to Sportsmemo after this show. Go follow Dan with one of those great discounts. You're going to follow him to the bank. Hell, they might make you bank president by the time he's done. Adjust the volumes, guys. I'm excited today. You know how I get on Friday afternoons? I'm very excited. This is the last show of the week for Joe D, your sexy and savory host. So let me just start, guys. Do a little NFL promoting. I won, 4 in a row. Perfect Sunday and Monday in NFL. I have a 10% play to. I shouldn't have said that. But you know what? It should keep this between us. Guys, since the opening day let me go back to NBA. We'll come back to NFL. Opening day of the NBA season, I have been number 1 and number 2 in every category. Once again this season, I'm crushing it, going 65%. $100 bettors are up $1,600. I have a special discount. Chris, my good buddy, the producer, flashed it earlier. 7 days NBA, Joe D, $49. Use code COURT7 upon checkout. But it doesn't stop there. As you know, I'm the hottest football capper on the planet over recent weeks. My NFL, guys, it just seems like everything I'm putting out is winning. Plus my college football big games, El Fuego. For those of you who aren't bilingual, that means on fire. Couldn't help myself, guys. By this afternoon, Friday afternoon, I'll have several games of the month posted for both college and pro football. And just between us, I'll have at least 1, maybe 2 5% plays. And guess what? I already posted a 10% play for Sunday, 17-2 in 2022, and 10% releases. All my weekend football winners will be over at Sportsmemo by Friday afternoon. Guys, I'm telling you right now, I'm a winner. You follow me. You're going to follow me to the bank as well. So let's go into my best bet for the show today. I'm very excited about this, and it may make it just yet as a premium play over at Sportsmemo. I don't care how good you are defensively. When your offense is averaging a dismal 15.1 points per game, you just can't compensate. Yes, my friends, I'm talking about the Denver Broncos. I'm fully aware that they're D ranked second in the league in scoring and first against the pass. But this is a stop unit that's severely overworked at this point. Because the Broncos have no offense, they're turning the ball over, they're committing penalties, they're experiencing a ton of 3-and-outs. Because of this, their defense fatigued and overworked. Being number 1 against the pass is a moot point here, my friends. The Tennessee Titans, they're not a passing offense. Speaking about the passing game at this point, the starting quarterback for Tennessee is uncertain. This is this is going to make it even harder for the Broncos to prepare here. Let's face it. You can't find 2 starting quarterbacks on the same team that play more differently than Tannehill and Willis. You really can't. The Titans are a rushing team. They pound the ball up the middle, around the ends, behind the legs of Derrick Henry. He wears defenses down, allowing them to open up the passing attack. This is a team that has gotten all of us sports bettors paid as well, covering their last 6, and they're just a few points away from winning 6 in a row straight up. You know, they have a pretty darn good defense themselves. They rank in the top 10 in points allowed. They yield just 19 points a game. Guys, they have faced some pretty good offenses too, and they haven't given up a lot of points in like mid-September. I went back and checked that. It was like September 17th or 18th was the last time they gave up significant points. They're playing great football. As I mentioned earlier, they experienced Denver experiences a lot of 3-and-outs. And when you're facing Derrick Henry, your defense is going to get tired to begin with. Trust me when I tell you, they're in trouble here. The Broncos do come off a bye week, but they do have some new roster acquisitions there. And this isn't the sharpest team in the NFL, I'll tell you that. And it's going to take their new additions a little bit longer than just a mere week to get in sync with their defensive scheme. I'll tell you that. Here's a couple of ATS trends to further my pick here. The Broncos 2-5 the last 7 on the road, 4-12 the last 16 versus the FC, 0-6 the last 6 following an ATS win. Meanwhile, Titans all against the spread, 5-2 ATS the last 7 at home, 5-0 the last 5 versus the FC, 4-0 the last 4 versus teams with a losing record. Under a field goal here is a gift. It's an early Christmas present, guys. Take it, unwrap it, celebrate it. It is a winner. Let's bring our panel on again, guys. Couple of quick announcements. Maybe we'll get a closing thought or comment or two. But real quick, my friends, how about those great graphics and stats by our good friends over at the Gold Sheet, the oldest and most respected of all betting publications, www.goldsheet.com. Use what the pros use. Let me get some closing thoughts. It's Friday. Guys, the last show of the week for Sportsmemo TV. Jesse Schule, closing thoughts and comments.
Case Keenum going to have a big game against his former team.
All right. I love Jesse, don't you? Man, a few words. I love that hat, too, Jesse. You got to send me one for Christmas. My good friend Rocky Atkinson, closing thoughts and comments for our viewers.
Hey, just wish everybody the best this weekend. Hopefully we're all winners.
You know, guys, I know Rocky a long time, and he is a class act. I love him. I know you do, too. Dan Kaiser, closing thoughts and comments.
Well, tonight starts the early college basketball season. Trail of tears for the Michigan State Spartans.
You got to love Dan Kaiser. You know, dry humor, but always, every time I'm doing a panel with him, I got to go change my shorts because I pee my pants. I love him. My friends, don't forget to tune into all of Sportsmemo TV's amazing content. Hit that subscribe button to get a reminder. You don't want to miss any of our Cappers free winners or betting insights. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Remember, increase your chances of making a profit. Follow the best collection of Cappers anywhere on the planet right here at Sportsmemo, because we don't go gambling, we go winning. On behalf of Sportsmemo, Jesse, Rocky, Dan, and me, Joey D, everyone out there, good luck. I have a winning day.